I want to start with a simple question. Do you feel your body is aging faster than it should? In my years of caring for older adults across the country, I have noticed one pattern that almost no one talks about. After 60, many people believe their strength fades because of age. Their joints stiffen because of age. Their balance weakens because of age. But that belief is wrong. Science today shows something very different. The real culprit is not age. It is inactivity. Here is what the data tells us. Losing just 10% of leg strength after 60 can raise fall risk by more than 30%. Difficulty standing up from the floor can triple the chance of losing independence. And more than 60% of physical decline in Americans over 60 comes from moving too little, not from disease. This is the truth most people never hear. Your body is not failing because you are older. It is responding to the way you move or do not move. The good news is powerful. Your body can grow stronger again, at 60, at 70, even at 80, not through surgeries or expensive treatments, through 5 essential movements your body was designed for: hanging, deep squatting, sitting down and standing up, restoring hip mobility, and building steady, quiet core stability. I call these the human non-negotiables, the movements that protect your freedom, your balance, and your independence as you age. If you are still here, it means you want to regain control of your body. Let us begin. Let me guide you into the first movement that can truly start to reverse the aging process. 1. Hanging. Many older adults tell me they feel their shoulders growing tighter and their posture slowly collapsing forward. They think it is simply age. But our data in the United States paints a clearer picture. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that declining grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of early cardiovascular problems. A major BMJ analysis in 2018 even named grip strength a primary marker of longevity. When your grip fades, your whole body begins to follow. This is why hanging is such a powerful intervention. When you let your body relax into a gentle hang, the spine decompresses, the shoulders open, and the nerves running through the neck finally get room to breathe. People often tell me they feel their hands warm up, their chest rise more freely, and their posture lift without effort. Have you ever noticed how much lighter your body feels when your shoulders loosen just a little? The solution is simple. Start with what your body allows. If you need support, keep your feet on a chair and hold for 5 to 10 seconds. If you can handle more, build toward a 20 to 40 second dead hang. Over time, you may explore mixed grips or gentle scapular pulls. Each step signals to your body that it is safe to grow strong again. I remember a patient who told me she could barely support herself for 2 seconds. 3 weeks later, she held a full 30-second hang and said it felt like her shoulders belonged to her again. That kind of progress is not rare. It is what happens when movement returns to a body that has been waiting too long. A few cautions. If you have severe disc issues or acute shoulder inflammation, reduce the load or use assistance. And never hold your breath while hanging, as this can raise blood pressure. When practiced consistently, hanging becomes more than an exercise. It becomes a reminder that strength is still within reach, no matter your age or history. 2. Deep squat. Many older adults tell me they no longer feel steady when they bend down, tie a shoe, or reach for something low. That fear usually comes from losing the deep squat, one of the most natural resting positions the human body was designed for. When the squat disappears, the hips stiffen, the knees grow uncertain, the lower back takes more strain, and everyday tasks start feeling harder than they should. Have you noticed that happening in your own life? Research from the American Journal of Geriatric Rehabilitation shows that people who maintain strong hip and ankle mobility have a significantly lower risk of chronic back pain and mobility loss. A deep squat naturally trains these areas. It stretches the hips, strengthens the legs, and activates the core in a way that supports digestion and spinal health. Many patients tell me they feel lighter, more grounded, and more upright after just a few minutes of practice. The solution is simple and can be adapted to any comfort level. If you are just beginning, hold a door frame or elevate your heels to ease your way down. When your body starts to trust the position again, practice an unassisted squat and settle into it for short periods. With time, you may reach a point where holding a deep squat for several minutes feels natural. Every second spent in this position teaches your joints how to move again. I recall a patient who once told me she had not sat close to the floor in decades. Just weeks later, she found herself settling into a deep squat with surprising ease. She said it felt like reclaiming a part of her she thought was gone. Some precautions are important. If you have advanced knee degeneration, use support and avoid sinking too deep. Keep your spine long and avoid rounding excessively, which can stress the lower back. The deep squat is more than a stretch. It is a way to reconnect with your body and restore a level of independence many people forget is possible. 3. Sit to stand. One of the most powerful ways to measure real independence is the simple ability to get down to the floor and rise back up again. In recent data from the American College of Sports Medicine, each point lost on the sit-to-stand test was linked with a more than 20% increase in mortality risk within 6 years. That is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to remind you how deeply movement reflects the state of your health. When the legs weaken and the body hesitates to rise, daily life becomes harder. Using the bathroom, cooking a meal, getting dressed, everything begins to feel uncertain. Have you felt moments like that creeping into your routine? The encouraging news is that this skill can be rebuilt. Strong legs and a confident rise protect you from falls and help you stay independent. And the process starts with small, steady steps that your body can tolerate. If you are beginning, practice standing up from a chair without using your hands. Let your legs do the work. When that becomes easier, lower yourself toward the floor and use just a little support to rise again. In time, you may move into a full sit to stand from the ground, even from a cross-legged position. Each level trains your legs, your balance, and your coordination to work together again. I once worked with a woman who told me she had not stood up from the floor without help in many years. When she finally managed it, the look on her face said everything. It was not just a physical victory, it was a return of dignity and confidence. A few precautions matter. If your blood pressure tends to spike or drop unpredictably, rise slowly to avoid dizziness. And if you have a history of knee or hip replacement, be mindful of your technique to keep the joint stable. Sit to stand is not just a movement. It is a gateway back to independence and the freedom to care for yourself with strength and certainty. 4. Hip mobility. One of the most overlooked parts of healthy aging is the ability of the hips to move freely. When the hips grow stiff, balance declines, steps become shorter, and the risk of falling rises sharply. The Lancet reported that falls are the second leading cause of accidental death among older adults in the United States. That number should make all of us pause. Have you ever felt your body hesitate when you turn, step off a curb, or reach for something on the floor? Healthy hip mobility can change that. When the hips glide the way they were designed to, walking becomes easier. Standing feels lighter. Climbing stairs no longer feels like a battle. Many of my patients describe a sense of relief in their lower back and knees once their hips begin to loosen. The joints start sharing the workload again, and the whole body moves with more confidence. The science is clear. Studies from the American Physical Therapy Association show that improving hip rotation significantly reduces chronic back and knee pain. Simple daily drills can bring that mobility back. If you are a beginner, start gently with 90-90 positions or small hip rocking movements on the floor. If your body can handle more, explore pigeon variations or the Cossack squat, which strengthens and opens the hips at the same time. For advanced movers, crawling patterns and deeper flow sequences can retrain the entire lower body to move smoothly again. I once worked with a woman who could not bend to feed her dog without pain. After a few weeks of consistent hip work, she told me she felt like she had her body back. Another patient shared that loosening her hips finally let her sleep through the night again. A few precautions are important. If you have had a hip replacement, avoid aggressive twisting or deep external rotation. If you currently have acute sciatic pain, be cautious with pigeon-style movements. Hip mobility is not just about flexibility. It is about reclaiming stability, confidence, and the simple freedom to move without fear. 5. Core isometrics. One of the quiet truths about aging that many people do not realize is how much the body depends on stillness. Not stillness from inactivity, but the kind of strength that holds you steady when life suddenly shifts. A slip on a wet floor, a misstep on a staircase, a moment when your balance wavers. Core isometric strength is what protects you in those moments. It becomes your personal anti-fall armor. Data from the National Council on Aging shows that stronger core stability can reduce fall risk by more than 30%. When the core holds firm, the knees track better, the hips support more evenly, and the spine stays protected. You feel more certain in every step you take. Have you noticed how different your body feels when your center is strong and steady? Building this kind of stability does not require fast movements. It requires controlled holds. If you are beginning, start with a wall sit or a short plank for 10 to 20 seconds. When your body adapts, move into longer planks, side planks, or an isometric squat where the legs and core work together. For those who are more advanced, supported handstands or loaded carries can teach the entire body to stabilize as one unit. I remember a patient who once told me she feared walking across her own living room. After a few months of simple isometric work, she said she finally trusted her legs again. Another patient found that strengthening her core eased the hip pain she had carried for years. A few precautions matter. If you are dealing with acute lower back pain, avoid holding planks for too long. And if you have severe osteoporosis, skip inverted positions like handstands. Core isometrics are not about looking strong. They are about feeling safe, stable, and capable in your everyday life. When your center holds, the rest of your body follows. As we come to the end of this journey, I want you to pause for a moment and let these 5 human non-negotiables settle in your mind. Hanging to keep the shoulders open and the ears long. Deep squatting to protect the way you move through your day. Sit to stand to guard your independence and your dignity. Hip mobility to prevent the accidents that change lives in an instant. Core stability to give you the quiet confidence that your body can hold you steady in any moment. These 5 principles are not tricks or trends. They are the foundation of a body that wants to stay alive, capable, and free. And you have the power to bring them back into your life. You may have spent years believing that decline is inevitable. But it is not. Your age is not a full stop. It is an open door. Your body is still listening. It is still willing to rebuild. It only needs you to take the first small step. So let me ask you something. Which of these 5 movements are you ready to begin today? Which one speaks to you, feels possible, feels necessary? Tell me in the comments. Your answer matters more than you think, because choosing a starting point is choosing yourself. If this video helped you, even in the smallest way, tap like. Share it with someone who needs hope. And subscribe to Senior Vitality Path so you never miss the tools that can keep you strong, balanced, and independent. Commit to these 5 habits each day, not perfectly, not all at once, just consistently enough to remind your body that it is still capable of healing, rebuilding, and surprising you. Your future self is waiting for the strength you choose today.